going on, Jerome's? So Minnesota Vikings edge rusher Danielle, the real deal Hunter, has proven that he's a superstar and getting after the season, tied for the league lead in sacks as well as leading the league in tackles for loss. And it's been a little bit touch and go, right? So the Vikings didn't give Danielle the long-term deal that he was looking for this offseason. They did work out the compromise, a one-year, $17 million deal. And I understand that some fans still hold Danielle's herniated disc in his neck in 2020 against him. Oh, he got paid for a full year without having to play. It's such stupid thinking. But Danielle Hunter is absolutely one of the alpha edge rushers in the league, and he deserves to be compensated. Or the Vikings could potentially look to trade him, but not so fast, my friend. Not so fast. Don't do it. No. Pay Danielle, extend Danielle, keep Danielle, all that stuff, and we have 10 reasons why the Vikings need to keep Danielle Hunter. Number one, he's Danielle Hunter. All right, so you have your 2015 third-round pick, homegrown, homespun dude who's been through a lot of things with this team. He's seen the highs, seen the lows, seen the injuries, seen the rising from like a phoenix from the ashes. Oh, he had the herniated disc. Oh, he had the torn pec. Over the last 2 years, he's proven he's healthy and revved up and ready to go. Plus, he's just special, man. Like, he is truly a game changer. He is truly a game wrecker out on the edge for the Vikings. Number two, still firmly in his prime. So he does turn 29 on October 29th. Happy early golden birthday to Neil. But also, if you look at like a 3-year deal that would take him through his age 32 season in the NFL, and that's still in his prime. And you look, you've seen where when the Vikings have had to play without Danielle, it's been very touch and go. Or you see teams around the league who do not have an absolute tier 1 edge rusher. Things can get tough. And quarterbacks can just dink and dunk and do all of their stuff. And it's really rough out there when you don't have that game-changing third down play in your back pocket. Next up, number 3, he's a premium player. Danielle has proven that he's still one of the best edge rushers in the game, tied for the league in sacks, like we said, first in tackles for loss as well, and he's just disruptive. And the fact that he's doing it in a newer scheme with Flores, as well as generally not much to go with an interior pass rush or opposite of him, still real impressive. Next up, number 4, premium position. So it's a quarterback, it's a wide receiver, it's a left tackle, and a edge rusher league. That's what it is right now. And it's a passer and get the passer league. And Danielle Hunter, it's not like he plays, well, don't want to throw any other positions under the bus, but it's not like you're paying premium coin for a sub-premium position. But what you're doing is you have a player in his prime who plays a premium position, and he's a premium player at said position. That's a lot of P's. It's a lot of P's for Danielle. Next up, number 5. You probably won't get much in trade. Now, here's what's interesting. For all we said about Danielle, still in his prime, premium player, premium position, the Vikings don't have a ton of leverage in this spot because of the renegotiated deal. The Vikings can't franchise tag him next offseason, so they can't tag him and keep him. They can't tag him and trade him, and other teams know that. So the Vikings' leverage is kind of kaput at this point. Now, they would benefit if at the trade deadline there's a bidding war, several teams, Jacksonville and others in, so then it drives up the price. But I would say you should not settle for anything less than a first-round pick. But also, I don't know if you would get that at this stage. And the Vikings, if they ride this thing out and he leaves in free agency, the best they're looking at is a 2025 third-round comp pick if he leaves in free agency. So it would also be storm the Bastille day if Kwesi trades the guy who probably is going to lead the league in sacks at the trade deadline. If Kwesi trades them for like 2 third-round picks. So I ain't gonna have it. It's a spot where you almost have to take less to save face with the fan base, and I don't know. But if you can get a first-round pick, then like that should be the line of demarcation. That's the conversation that you should have. But absent that, nah. Next up, number 6, the reason why the Vikings should not trade Danielle. Proven scheme versatility. So there's a lot of questions after Danielle Hunter had been a hand in the dirt, primarily left side, strong side defensive end for the Vikings throughout the bulk of his career. But then, switching to a stand-up outside linebacker last year under Donishell, kind of slow at the beginning, but he did bring it on at the end of the season. Led the team in sacks with 10.5, and this year obviously he's proven it with Brian Flores. So if the Vikings go back to a 4-3, I'm sure that he would be fine there, but also he can be a stand-up edge rusher as well, and also he's rushing from both sides. So that is a premium plus. Next up, number 7, other edge free agents. So part of me thinks that the Vikings did bring in Marcus Davenport on the 1-year, $13 million deal to see if he could stay healthy. He cannot. And then if he proven that he could stay healthy and be an impact player, then he would be the heir to Danielle Hunter and then move on. But it looks like Davenport is going to be a one-and-done here with the Vikings. DJ Wanham is also in a contract year. And other than that, I mean, you got PJ2, Andre Carter II, the UDFA isn't quite ready yet. So that's it. I mean, the top 3 edge rushers for the Vikings are all free agents and all potentially could leave. But if the Vikings do want stability there, keeping Danielle Hunter for a couple of seasons before passing the torch makes sense. Next up, number 8, Kwesi worked with agents twice. Now, Kwesi has overseen 2 contract restructures or redos, essentially, with Danielle Hunter. Now, they haven't come to an agreement on a long-term deal, but I think with all the cards on the table and Danielle proving that he is still one of the best edge rushers in the game, I think something potentially could get done. But it's a spot where they've played ball together before, they've compromised before, and it's really important because it could have either spot could have been where Kwesi or Danielle's agents dig in their heels and then nothing gets done, and then they just part ways and move on, or Danielle is traded. But it hasn't happened, so it's clear that Kwesi values Danielle. It's clear that Danielle likes being here to a degree, but we'll see. Next up, number 9, clear sign of a tank rebuild. Where, again, this is part and parcel with number 5. Like, if they give up on Danielle for like 2 third-round picks, it's over. It's over, man. Like, tear the whole thing down and then the rebuild from the studs. But also, I don't think that the Wilfs want to do that. I think the Wilfs always have a firm eye on being competitive because that means interest and ticket sales, and I don't think that they would sign off on a full-on complete tank and rebuild. I just do not see that. Lastly, be a bad message for the locker room. So you have a guy who's drafted in-house, a guy who signed a very team-friendly extension back in 2016, the 5-year, $72 million deal, a guy who clearly has outperformed his contract many, many times, and they're constantly doing him dirty. You know, a guy who gave his hat for this team, got injured in practice when maybe they shouldn't have been going as hard in the paint as they were in training camp with a herniated disc, and a guy who's fought through injuries, a guy who's fought through schemes, a guy who's proven that he's still one of the best in the league at his position, and they won't give him the long-term deal that he's looking for. All right, so that's a bad message to send to the locker room. And also, I think that it potentially could be like, Justin Jefferson's like, why would I ever take less or a team-friendly deal? And look what they did to my guy Danielle. And screw that. LSU alum, that's how they treat us? Nah. But even though, yes, I mean, Danielle's say he signs like a 3-year deal, $75 million with $60 guaranteed. Somewhere in there, it's a very healthy chunk of change. It'd vault him into the top 5 in terms of money per season, but he's worth it. He is absolutely worth it. Like Danielle, again, the big question with Danielle was health as well as how he adapted the scheme. He's proven that he's done both, and he's still one of the best in the league on the edge, man. So keep Danielle. But that's it. That's 10 reasons why the Minnesota Vikings should keep a Danielle Hunter. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.